color motifs in The Shining, yellow, red, white, and blue as symbolic markers. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is a film of immense symbolic density, where every detail contributes to its themes of psychological horror, historical critique, and human fragility. Among its many recurring elements, the deliberate use of color plays a crucial role in shaping the film's mood, characters, and allegorical underpinnings. In particular, the motifs of yellow, red, white, and blue appear early in the film, establishing both a visual and thematic foundation. These colors resonate with notions of death, betrayal, and national identity, underscoring The Shining's exploration of distinctly American themes: the yellow beetle and the yellowing of fall. In the opening sequence, Jack Torrance drives a yellow Volkswagen Beetle along Montana's Going to the Sun Road, flanked by deciduous trees whose leaves have turned yellow with the arrival of late fall. This visual harmony between the car and the landscape establishes yellow as an early motif and lends the scene an eerie, foreboding tone. The yellow leaves, which signal the end of the growing season, evoke a sense of decay, dormancy, and impending death, key themes that will haunt the narrative. Yellow becomes a color associated with decline, a prelude to the stark coldness of winter, and metaphorically, the looming psychological and physical death that the Torrance family will experience. The choice of a yellow beetle is not merely aesthetic, but also symbolic. Yellow, while often associated with warmth and optimism, carries negative connotations, including cowardice, treachery, and betrayal. These associations foreshadow Jack's descent into madness and his eventual betrayal of his family. Initially, Jack is presented as a father and provider, the archetypal protector of his household. Yet as he succumbs to the Overlook Hotel's malevolent influence, he becomes the inverse of this archetype, a figure of terror who seeks to murder his wife and child. The yellow car thus serves as a subtle indicator of Jack's internal corruption, a vehicle that carries him toward moral decay and destruction. Red, white, and blue, the American flag and national identity. In contrast to the somber yellow tones of the opening sequence, the scenes set in the Torrance's temporary apartment in Boulder prominently feature red, white, and blue, a recurring color palette that permeates the entire film. These colors, which unmistakably evoke the American flag, connect the narrative to broader themes of national identity and history. While the flag itself appears overtly in Ullman's office and subtly in the character's clothing and surroundings, the omnipresence of red, white, and blue underscores the distinctly American context of The Shining's exploration of violence and madness. Red, throughout the film, red emerges as the color of violence, blood, and danger. From Danny's red sweater to the infamous rivers of blood spilling from the elevator doors, red is a visceral reminder of the violence that underpins both the Overlook Hotel's history and America's own past. The hotel, built on Native American burial grounds, becomes a site of unacknowledged bloodshed, just as the nation's history is built on the displacement and genocide of indigenous peoples. White, often associated with purity and innocence, takes on a more ambiguous role in The Shining. It is the color of snow, which isolates the Overlook Hotel and traps the Torrance family, and it dominates the hotel's empty spaces, creating an unsettling, sterile atmosphere. White, in this context, becomes the backdrop against which the horrors of the film unfold, a canvas for corruption and bloodshed. Blue, associated with coldness and detachment, reflects the emotional and physical isolation of the Torrance family. It is present in the characters' clothing, the hotel's decor, and the icy landscape surrounding the Overlook. Blue amplifies the film's pervasive sense of alienation and despair, emphasizing the distance between the characters and the normalcy they once knew. Together, these colors serve as a critique of the American dream, suggesting that the ideals of freedom, prosperity, and family unity are undermined by the nation's history of violence and betrayal. The Overlook Hotel is a reflection of American themes. The color motifs in The Shining are not confined to the characters and their clothing, but are embedded in the very fabric of the Overlook Hotel. The hotel's interior design prominently features red, white, and blue, from the carpets and walls to the ballroom's opulent decor. This pervasive color scheme reinforces the idea that the Overlook is a microcosm of America itself, a space where the veneer of civilization conceals a history of brutality and exploitation. The Overlook's appropriation of Native American motifs, such as the Navajo-inspired carpet patterns, further underscores this critique. These designs, stripped of their cultural context, serve as decorative elements in a space that epitomizes luxury and excess. This juxtaposition reflects America's historical erasure and commodification of indigenous cultures, a theme that is visually and symbolically woven into the film's color palette. The colors of betrayal and transformation. As the narrative unfolds, The interplay of yellow, red, white, and blue becomes increasingly significant in illustrating the Torrance family's transformation. Jack, initially portrayed as a man seeking redemption and stability, becomes a figure of treachery and violence, embodying the worst impulses of human nature. Wendy, dressed in warm reds and whites, represents the fragility of innocence and the resilience of survival, while Danny's clothing often blends multiple colors, symbolizing his unique ability to navigate the hotel's dualities through his psychic gift, the shining. Yellow, which appeared benign in the film's opening, takes on more sinister connotations as Jack's madness deepens. The golden light of the ballroom, for instance, becomes a trap, luring Jack into a world of delusion and violence. Similarly, the warm autumnal hues of the opening drive transform into the cold whites and blues of winter, mirroring the family's descent into isolation and despair. Conclusion. The early color motifs in Stanley Kubrick's The Shining are not mere visual elements but integral to the film's symbolic and thematic complexity. The yellow Volkswagen Beetle and the autumnal leaves establish a tone of decay and betrayal, foreshadowing Jack Torrance's transformation from protector to predator. The pervasive presence of red, white, and blue connects the narrative to American themes, critiquing the nation's history of violence, erasure, and unacknowledged guilt. Through its masterful use of color, The Shining becomes not only a tale of psychological horror, but also a meditation on the cyclical nature of betrayal, the fragility of innocence, and the haunting legacies of history.